Hello. Today's study is called You Have a Weapon. We're going to look at the scriptures and see what this weapon is and how we can use it and not use it. Someone read Psalm chapter 34, verse 13.
Psalm chapter 34, verse 13. Keep your tongue from evil and your lips from speaking deceit.
Great, thank you. So your tongue can be used to speak evil. But we're told to keep our tongue from evil and not speak evil, and our lips from speaking deceit. Can someone read Psalm chapter 39, verse 1?
I have said, let me guard my ways against sinning with my tongue. Let me guard my mouth with a muzzle, while the wrongdoer is before me.
Great, thank you. So here in Psalm chapter 39, verse 1, it says, let me guard my ways against sinning with my tongue. Guard it. It means put a guard over it so that you won't sin with your tongue. It says, let me guard my mouth with a muzzle. Like a dog has a muzzle so it doesn't bite. The muzzle is to keep your mouth closed. Put a guard over there so that you will not sin with your mouth. Can someone read Psalm chapter 52, verse 2?
Your tongue devises destruction like a sharp razor, working deceit.
Great, thank you. So we have to be careful about our tongue because it says here that it devises destruction and it's like a sharp razor working deceit. So we need to be careful, put a guard over our tongue and watch that we don't do things like this with our tongue. Can someone read Psalm chapter 52, verse 4?
You love all devouring words, O tongue of deceit.
Great, thank you. So the tongue wants to devour with its words. So we need to be careful, again, about watching what we say with our tongue. We should think twice before we speak once. Can someone read Psalm chapter 57, verse 4?
My being is in the midst of lions. I lie among those who breathe fire, whose teeth are spears and arrows, and their tongue is a sharp sword.
Great, thank you. So here are some of the weapons. Here it says the teeth are spears and arrows. This is speaking about their enemies. And their tongue is like a sharp sword. So the tongue could be used as a sharp sword and it can hurt. Can someone read Psalm chapter 64, verse 3 and 4?
Who sharpen their tongue like a sword, and aim their arrows a bitter word, to shoot an ambush at someone blameless. They shoot at him suddenly and do not fear.
Great, thank you. Sharpens their tongue like a sword. A sword is a weapon, and your tongue is a weapon. And it says it aims their arrows a bitter word. A bitter word is like an arrow shooting at someone. Can someone read Psalm chapter 78, verse 36?
But they flattered him with their mouth, and they lied to him with their tongue.
Great, thank you. So you can flatter someone with your mouth, which you're not supposed to be doing, is flattering people. And it says they lied to him with their tongue. So your tongue can lie. It can boast lies. We need to be truthful with our tongue and only speak truth, not lies. Can someone read Psalm chapter 109, verse 2?
For the mouth of the wrong and the mouth of the deceiver have opened against me. They have spoken against me with a false tongue.
Great, thank you. So it says here, the mouth of the wrong and the mouth of the deceiver have opened against me. They have spoken against me with false tongue. A false tongue, not speaking truth, but falsehood, spoken against you. Can someone read Proverbs chapter 6, verse 24?
To guard you against an evil woman from the flattering tongue of a strange woman.
Great, thank you. So we have to be on the guard for the flattering tongue of a strange woman or a strange man also. We need to watch out for the flattering tongue because usually they want to get something out of you or do something to you. Can somebody read Proverbs chapter 10, verse 31?
The mouth of the righteous brings forth wisdom, but the tongue of the perverseness is cut off.
Great, thank you. So the mouth of the righteous brings forth wisdom. So if we are righteous, we should be bringing forth wisdom with our mouth. And it says, but the tongue of the perverseness is cut out. That's what happens to the ones with perversiveness with their mouth, with their tongue. It gets cut out. Can somebody read Proverbs chapter 12, verse 18?
Rash speaking is like piercings of a sword, but the tongue of the wise is healing.
Great, thank you. So rash speaking is like the piercings of a sword. Rash speaking, just speaking out rashly, speaking out quickly, not thinking about a matter, just speaking out quickly is like the piercing of a sword. It says, but the tongue of the wise is healing. If you have wise words that you could speak to somebody, it can be healing to them. Can somebody read Proverbs chapter 12, verse 19?
The lip of truth is established forever, but a lying tongue is but for a moment.
Great, thank you. So if you're speaking truth, your lips will be established forever, but a lying tongue is for a moment. It only lasts for a little while. Lying tongue is not what we should have, but we should have the lips of truth, the tongue of truth, only speaking truth, not a lie. Can somebody read Proverbs chapter 15, verse 4?
A healing tongue is a tree of life, but perverseness in it crushes the spirit.
Great, thank you. A healing tongue is a tree of life. That's the kind of tongue we should have. It's a healing tongue. It's a tree of life to those who hear it. It brings life to them. A perverseness in it crushes the spirit. We can crush somebody's spirit with our words. We need to be careful in how we choose and select our words to the hearer. We will be held accountable for that. Can somebody read Proverbs chapter 17, verse 20?
He who has a crooked heart finds no good, and he who has a perverse tongue falls into evil.
Great, thank you. So if you have a crooked heart, you find no good. And it says, he who has a perverse tongue falls into evil. So if you have a perverse tongue, you're going to fall into evil. How to stay away from falling into evil? Don't have a perverse tongue. Can somebody read Proverbs chapter 18, verse 21?
Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those loving it eat its fruit.
Great, thank you. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. Our words have the power of life and death. The world was created by Yahuwah, by his word. He spoke everything into existence. His words have power. Our words have power too. Our words have the power to create life in people and death in people. So we need to be careful on how we speak. We should speak words of life only, not words of death, so that we will build people up and not tear them down, even ourselves. If you consistently saying negative things, you're going to get negative things. But we need to speak positive things and speak life, because it's in the power of the tongue. And it says those loving it eat its fruit. So what kind of fruit are you going to eat? You'll get the results of what words you speak, whether it's death or life. Can somebody read Proverbs chapter 21, verse 6?
Gaining treasures by a lying tongue is a fleeting vapor. heading for death.
Great, thank you. So gaining treasure by a lying tongue is a fleeting vapor. It just disappears. So that's why we shouldn't gain treasures by a lying tongue. It says heading for death. Can somebody read Proverbs chapter 25, verse 15?
Through patience, a ruler is persuaded, and a soft tongue shatters a bone.
Great, thank you. Through patience, a ruler is persuaded. You have patience, and a ruler can be persuaded. It says, a soft tongue shatters a bone. Can somebody read Proverbs chapter 25, verse 23?
The north wind brings rain, and a secret tongue, an enraged face.
Great, thank you. So it says a secret tongue and enraged face. That's what it brings. An enraged face. If you're having secrets, which we shouldn't do, it can bring an enraged face of the person who finds out about the secret that you've told. Can somebody read Proverbs chapter 26, verse 28?
A lying tongue hates its bruised ones, and a flattering mouth works ruin.
Great, thank you. A lying tongue hates its bruised ones, and a flattering mouth works ruin. If you're going to flatter with your mouth, it's going to work ruin. So we need to make sure that we're not flattering people. Can somebody read James chapter 1, verse 26?
If anyone among you thinks he is religious and does not bridle his tongue, but deceives his own heart, this one's religion is worthless.
Great, thank you. So if you are thinking that you're religious and you don't bridle your tongue, it says, but it deceives his own heart, and this one's religion is worthless. So you need to bridle your tongue like a horse has a bridle to make him go to the left or to the right. We need to bridle our tongue to control it, to make sure that it doesn't say anything that's wrong. Can someone read James chapter 3, verses 5 to 8?
James chapter 3, verses 5 to 8. So too the tongue is a little member, yet boasts greatly. See how a little fire kindles a great forest? And the tongue is a fire, the world of unrighteousness. Among our members the tongue is set, the one defiling the entire body, and setting on fire the wheel of life. And it is set on fire by Gehenna. For every kind of beast and bird, of reptile and creature of the sea, is tamed and has been tamed by mankind. But no man is able to tame the tongue. It is unruly, evil filled with deadly poison.
Great, thank you. So here it tells you that the tongue is a fire, a world of unrighteousness. It's set on fire by Gehenna. And it says you're not able to tame your tongue. It's unruly, evil, filled with deadly poison. So we have the power of life and death in our tongue. We need to choose life. We need to watch our words. We need to guard our tongue. We need to bridle our tongue. We need to watch out and be careful what we say. Don't just say something quickly in response to somebody. We need to think about what we say because we're held accountable for what we say. Can somebody read James chapter 3, verses 9 to 12?
With it we bless our Elohim and Father, and with it we curse men who have been made in the likeness of Elohim. Out of the same mouth proceed blessings and cursing. My brothers, this should not be so. Does the fountain send forth the sweet and the bitter from the same opening? My brothers, is a fig tree able to bear olives, or a grapevine figs? So neither is a fountain able to make salt and sweet water.
Great, thank you. So here it says, with our mouth we bless Elohim, and we curse men with our mouths also. So it says here that we shouldn't have blessings and cursing in the same mouth. It says, does the fountain send forth sweet and bitter from the same opening? No, it should only be one or the other. And we should choose blessing in our mouth, not cursing. It's only 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 10.
For he who wishes to love life and see good days, let him keep his tongue from evil and his lips from speaking deceit.
Great, thank you. So if you want to love life and live life and see good days, it says, keep your tongue from evil and your lips from speaking deceit. So now we know what weapon we have in our mouth, and we need to be careful and watch out over it. And we need to be careful, especially if you get angry, because if you get angry, it says in the word, be angry and do not sin. Because we can get into the flesh if we get angry at somebody, if they've done something or said something to us. And we need to be careful not to lash back at them with words and be rash with our words. We need to put a guard over our mouth, put a bridle over our mouth. It's better to say nothing than to say something wrong. So we need to be careful, watch out over our mouth, and it's a weapon. Words can hurt us.